The small regional airport known as Easterwood Field, located in College Station, Texas, was never designed to accommodate international intrigue or high-profile drama. It primarily catered to local travelers, college students heading home for breaks, retired academics, and the occasional business figure from the energy sector. Yet, on an unremarkable mild afternoon earlier this year, this modest terminal unexpectedly became the focal point of a controversy that reverberated all the way to the historic halls of Buckingham Palace. At the center of the unfolding events stood Meghan Markle, the Duchess of Sussex. She appeared without the elaborate support system she was known for. No private aircraft waiting on the tarmac, no team of security personnel in dark suits, and no visible assistants. Instead, she moved through the space quietly, wearing large sunglasses, a simple yet elegant travel ensemble, and clutching a leather carry-on bag that remained firmly in her possession. Observers noted she looked weary but maintained her composure until a routine security screening changed everything. A polite TSA agent requested that she place the bag on the inspection table for a standard check. Her fingers tightened around the strap, her knuckles paling noticeably as reluctance flickered across her features. What began as a typical procedure quickly escalated when the officer asked for a hands-on examination of the contents. In that instant, captured on a bystander's unsteady cell phone video, the bag was unzipped. Items spilled out. Not the usual travel essentials, but materials that immediately raised eyebrows. Printed emails, many obscured by heavy black redactions, formal letters annotated aggressively in red ink, and most strikingly, an old, discolored envelope with frayed edges and a deteriorating wax seal. The appearance of that single envelope triggered an immediate shift in Meghan's demeanor. She reached for it urgently, attempting to shield it from view while her voice rose in protest as security personnel urged her to stay calm. The footage, lasting barely a minute, was uploaded online by a student who happened to be waiting for his flight. It spread rapidly across social media platforms, sparking hashtags such as #EasterwoodEnvelope and #MeghanMysteryDocs. Within hours, the clip had gone viral, only to be abruptly removed from major sites amid a barrage of DMCA takedown requests. Accounts sharing it faced suspensions, yet copies persisted in private groups, encrypted chats, and archived corners of the internet. Speculation exploded. Were these documents related to ongoing legal battles, personal disputes, or something far more sensitive tied to her royal past? Theories proliferated wildly. Some suggested the papers formed the backbone of a potential exposé or lawsuit against the royal institution. Others speculated about classified or confidential materials from her time as a working member of the family. What captivated viewers most, however, was not merely the items themselves but Meghan's visceral reaction. Here was a woman renowned for her media acumen, someone who had skillfully navigated press scrutiny, palace protocols, and Hollywood gossip, displaying unmistakable panic. It was the response of someone unexpectedly exposed, caught off guard in a vulnerable moment. By evening, U.S. media outlets began cautiously referencing the story, though without official corroboration or detailed statements. In London, the royal household maintained complete silence publicly. According to sources with palace access, Prince William viewed the circulating clip in his private office. He watched it repeatedly, frame by frame, then quietly requested the presence of the Royal Intelligence Liaison, a specialized, low-profile unit typically involved in matters of national significance rather than domestic family issues. The invocation of this resource alone underscored the perceived seriousness of the situation. What exactly had been inside that unassuming leather bag? And why would Meghan, who had built her public image around themes of privacy, independence, and careful narrative control, choose to transport such materials personally through a commercial airport? The questions mounted rapidly. Had this been a deliberate provocation, or was she under surveillance? Had security been alerted in advance? Was the incident tied to coercion, protection of assets, or something more calculated? Insights from those familiar with British security circles emphasize that the true concern lay not just in the contents, but in Meghan's instinctive protective gesture toward the envelope above all else. Detailed analysis of the video revealed fleeting micro-expressions, alarm, rapid assessment, fear mingled with resolve. Palace-affiliated observers later noted that the envelope displayed markings consistent with historical royal internal correspondence, symbols and seals used in public view since the era of Queen Elizabeth II private directives. This suggested the materials were not ordinary personal effects, but linked directly to the monarchy's institutional legacy. The episode highlighted a deeper tension. The British Crown, with its centuries of tradition, fortified residences, and intricate protocols, had been pierced, not by a grand revelation or official disclosure, but by a single moment of human vulnerability captured on a smartphone at an obscure Texas airport. And the quiet confines of his office, Prince William absorbed the implications with characteristic restraint. Since the health challenges that had affected his family in recent years, including the broader disruptions caused by family departures and public skepticism, he had adopted a more resolute approach to his responsibilities. No longer focused primarily on reconciliation, he now prioritized safeguarding the institution amid eroding trust and generational shifts. The video represented more than a personal slight. It signaled a potential vulnerability in the monarchy's defenses. Without fanfare, he summoned the liaison and issued clear directives: investigate discreetly, trace origins, identify any collaborators, and assume intent rather than coincidence. His concerns stemmed from recognizing specific archival elements, seals and notations from Queen Elizabeth's private communications, never intended for external circulation or digitization. How had these reached Meghan's possession, and why carry them so openly? This discovery aligned with prior subtle irregularities: mismatched travel patterns, consultations with specialized legal experts, and unusual financial flows tied to associated entities. What had once appeared incidental now formed a pattern suggesting strategic positioning rather than spontaneous grievance. Meghan, meanwhile, moved swiftly to reclaim control of the narrative. Within 2 days, she released a carefully produced video statement from a serene Montecito setting: soft lighting, natural greenery, understated attire, and a tone-blending poise with evident emotion. She described the experience as a profound invasion of privacy, emphasizing her role as a mother safeguarding personal mementos for her family's protection. In the end, what began as a routine security check at a forgotten Texas airport evolved into a stark confrontation between competing visions of influence, one rooted in emotional storytelling and public appeal, the other in duty, discretion, and preservation of legacy. Neither side appeared willing to yield, but the quiet machinery of institutional response had already begun its work, ensuring the episode would not define the Crown's trajectory.